Welcome back everybody to Mine and Me. I might have mentioned it once or twice or probably every single time I do a video, but this channel is the best channel in the whole world for MS. So if you haven't already, please like, subscribe. What I want to talk to you about today, right, is something else I'm doing, which is a bit big. So I'm not satisfied with just going up, South Wales' highest peak in a wheelchair. I've been approached to do something called the Octopus Trial for MS. I'll get a little bit more into it, but I'm not joining sort of the Seafood Appreciation Society and going out and catching octopuses. It's not like octopus, I don't know, whichever way. But you know the things with 8 arms that swim in the sea. So I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it, what it actually is, and why it could be a game changer for progressive MS, which you all know I've got secondary progressive MS, which is non-active at the moment, which is kind of a good thing, but there's loads of videos in the description. It'd be videos about SPMS, so have a little look at that. But I'll be straight with you to start with. One of the main reasons I'm joining this is for the healthcare. I'm nearly 50. I've got to start looking after myself, and I've got a condition which is ongoing, So if you've got progressive MS, you'll know that after your diagnosis of it, the regular checkups and MRIs start to fade away. You're kind of just left to get on with it. It's kind of, there's no medication for you. We all know that, if anything happens, you have some cramps, have some baclofen. You feel tired, have some amantadine. You know what it's like. We just sort of we're just chasing curing the symptoms, aren't we? So basically I'm doing it because I want the MRIs, I want proper monitoring, I want my health to come at the forefront. And, not only does it help the researchers, but it helps spot changes early for me, which will help me at the end of the day. So I'm doing it for 2 reasons, if you like, because it's not about me. It's about wanting to be a part of something that could actually make a difference to the whole of the MS community. I'm doing this channel for that reason, and also I could sort of double edge and do that as well, so we could get one step closer to treatment. Then if that's sort of the case, I'm in. Okay, anything that's going to treat this MS is fantastic. So I just want to go quickly into it. It's not death by PowerPoint or any sort of lecture or anything like that, but I want to tell you a little bit about the Octopus Trial if you don't know what it is. So imagine you've got an octopus with all his tentacles or arms or whatever they're called, but we'll call them arms. And each arm is a separate treatment being tested at the same time. So most traditional trials test just one drug at a time. If that fails, they've got to start all over again. So that trial could be going on 3, 4, 5 years, and then all of that is wasted. So the Octopus Trial is completely different. It's a multi-arm, multi-stage adaptive trial, which basically means starting off with multi-arm. So you've got several treatments tested at once. Multi-stage then, if a drug isn't working, it's dropped really quickly and a new one can slot straight in without having to start from zero. So it's continuing all the time. And then adaptive, the trial sort of learns how it goes as it goes, using the data to make faster and smarter decisions. So it's 8 trials in one, if you like. So this approach can cut research time by more than half. And in the world of progressive MS, where we've been waiting, I haven't personally, obviously, but we've been waiting decades for something effective. So, look at this. This is quite big and quite, might be onto something, yeah. So how it works, I'll basically run through it as quick as I can. The process looks like sort of if you join at the start. So if you're thinking of joining something like this, you register and then they contact you. You go for screening. I should have said the best way to register is through UKMS. So UKMS register, you can register there, it's all free. And if there's a trial site near you, they'll get in touch with you. If you meet the criteria, so they look at things like age, your type of MS, mobility level, and your MRI history. So they'll look at all of that. So you basically get a full MOT, which is cracking, isn't it? You get MRI scans, You get your walking tests, your coordination checks, it's questionnaires, blood tests. So this gives the researchers a snapshot of your particular MS. So it's totally you this time. So there's randomization. You're randomly assigned to one treatment arm. It could be like a drug like metformin, or this alpha lipoic acid, or a placebo, which, you know, a placebo does nothing. So it's blind as well. So neither you or the trial team know which one you're on. So it's a surprise. So, you know, after about a year then, they review the MRI data to see if your drug is actually slowing brain shrinkage compared to a placebo. If it's not, then the arm is just stopped. Brilliant. So it's gone. And then another treatment will take its place. So if your treatment shows promise, it moves into like a larger, longer sort of testing phase, if you like, with more people to see if it genuinely slows disability progression. So it's win-win, really. So ongoing monitoring is you'll keep going for MRIs, mobility tests and check-ins. They'll track all of your symptoms, things like side effects and your general health as well, they'll look at. So, as mentioned earlier, it's like an MOT for you. You know, you're kind of, I know you're a bit of a pincushion, but you're getting the best care that you can. So here's the thing though, you might get a placebo, which means it's just a dummy drug and it's not going to do anything to you. It basically means it's just sugar pills. And yeah, at first it sounds disappointing. What's the point, you know, if you're on a placebo, what's the point in doing this? But my data will still help prove whether the real drugs work. So if you look at it like that, I'm still doing something. And, you know, while I'm in it, still get all the health monitoring. So, you know, I'm not going to get any side effects from the drugs, am I? So either way, I'm better off than I was before. So that's how I've looked at it, because I was a little bit, do I go for it? Do I not go for it? So I'm thinking, well, you know, it's I know we get free healthcare in with the NHS, but it's kind of a little bit more in depth, isn't it? So in progressive MS, time matters. Once progression starts, it's usually slow but steady. This trial is about catching that process and slowing it down even by a little. So every bit that we can slow it, the better. You know, and then the faster they can test multiple drugs, the faster we get something that works. And, you know, that doesn't just help people now, it sets a model for the future, which I think is massive. And, you know, one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing it as well. You know, it could help future MS research. So we're not stuck in the slow lane. You know, you could say time's run out for you, Mike, but the next generation might be lucky with this. So why not give it a whirl? So, you know, what do I hope to get from this? Honestly, my hope is simple. I want to get a treatment that actually helps me. You know, it's as easy as that, isn't it? You know, and I want to know I've done something positive for the MS community. You know, take out what, you know, charities do and how much money they take and all this kind of thing. This is researchers doing what they do well. And I want to prove that even with progressive MS, you can still take part in pushing things forward, which is huge, you know, and I've got this chance to do this now from a personal point of view, not looking at the politics of anything and how good the researchers are these days. You know, it's a bit of a no-brainer for me. So if you're watching this and you've got progressive MS, maybe have a look at the Octopus Trial website or, you know, the UK MS register. Even if you can't take part, just talking about it helps raise awareness. So, you know, put it out there. Do the best you can. And if you don't have MS, but someone you know does, and you just happen to be just watching this channel because there's nothing else on, share this video with them. Awareness is like, you know, how trials like to get the numbers they need to actually make an impact. And it's all we want, isn't it? We want to make an impact. We want people to hear about things like this, because it makes perfect sense. So, you know, I'll shut up in a minute, but I'll be sharing updates on my journey through the trial, you know, the tests, the MRIs, the good bits and the not so good bits. So if you want to follow along, hit subscribe and join me on this journey, because it's going to be another thing for you guys to have a little look at. But I'll be carried up a mountain before this starts-ish. So, you know, the more of us that get involved in trials, in awareness, in sharing our stories, the closer we get to something that works. So, you know, it's not going to be a cure, but it's going to slow stuff down, hopefully. So wish me luck, and I'll keep you posted, and I'll see you on the next one.